Alright, this is part 2 of our lesson on dividing rational expressions. If you have not watched part 1 yet, you should go back and watch that. I gave a nice introduction at the beginning that sort of set the stage and let you know why we do what we do. So you need to watch number 1, part 1 before you watch this part. Also, please put your pencils down. Don't copy off of me as I'm doing the video. You will not learn that way, and you will fail the test very likely. Instead, watch the video, learn how to do it, but then go back and do the problems by yourself. Okay, anyway, let me zoom in. Okay, I see some GCF happening here, so I'm going to have 7 over, let's see, GCF is 8, so that's 8, and then R minus 5. Okay, divided by, you know what, I guess I didn't really need to do this. So I see 8r minus 40 and 8r minus 40. So, well, you know what, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Okay, it'll just make it a little easier to see what the restrictions are. So I'll do the same thing here. So for the same reason, this will be 8 and then r minus 5. Okay, so it's time to multiply by the reciprocal. So this will become 7 over 8 times r minus 5 times 8 times r minus 5 over 1. Alright, of course the 8 and the r minus 5 will cancel out, and that's just going to leave 7. Okay, 7 is the simplified answer. Now as far as restrictions, probably easiest to look right here. R cannot be 5. Alright, I could look over here, but it's going to give me the same thing. Alright, the one restriction is R cannot equal 5. Okay, number 15. Alright, let's do some factoring. Alright, the GCF here is 4n. That's going to leave behind n minus 4. Right, 16, 4n squared. Okay, so there's that. And then divided by 1 over n minus 4. Right here is a good place to state your restrictions. Okay, I'm going to have a restriction from this and this. Alright, I would say this, but it's the same as this. So these two sort of make one restriction. So from the n, it tells me n cannot equal 0 because of that. Because the n minus 4, n cannot equal positive 4. So these are my restrictions. Okay, meanwhile, I will now multiply by the reciprocal. Just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so that'll give me 8 over 4n times n minus 4 times n minus 4 over 1 multiplied by the reciprocal. Now the n minus 4's are going to cancel out. Okay, but also 4 and 8 are both divisible by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, so that's giving me 2 in the numerator and n in the denominator. That's it. So this simplifies down to 2 over n. Alright, and you have the restrictions. Alright, let's factor. Okay, so this trinomial up here is probably going to factor as binomial times a binomial. So b times b, 15, 3 times 5 is looking good, positive 3, negative 5 will make negative 2b. Alright, now the denominator, GCF, 8 doesn't go into 20, but 4 does. So there's a GCF of 4. That's going to leave behind 2b plus 5. Okay. And then, of course, over here I have divided by 2 over. There's a GCF of 2 here. Okay, I'm going to need a little more space. So this will make 2, and then 2b plus 5. Okay, this would be a good place to make my restrictions. Alright, on the left, you're only going to get a restriction from the denominator. Okay, if I set 2b plus 5 equal to 0, this is what happens. Alright, I got 2b equals negative 5. So I have b equals negative 5 over 2. Or I should say cannot equal. Alright, we're talking restrictions. So that's one restriction. From this I get b cannot equal negative 5 over 2. I'm just going to write that down. Okay, the numerator of the first fraction does not matter. Now over here, neither the numerator nor the denominator is allowed to be 0. But 2b plus 5, we already did that. We already have that. So there are no additional restrictions. Okay, now it is time to multiply by the denominator. Alright, I'm going to have to erase this to make space. Okay. So I've got b plus 3 over b minus 5 over 4 times 2b plus 5. Now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so it's going to be times 2 times 2b plus 5, okay, over 2. So now let's start canceling things out. Well, these 2's are just plain going to cancel out, and the 2b plus 5 is going to cancel the other 2b plus 5. Okay, that is going to leave me with, does anything else cancel? No, I don't think so. So that's going to leave me with b plus 3 times b minus 5 over 4. Alright, so that's the answer number 17. Alright, let's do some factoring. Both of these are divisible by 8. So if I pull out the common factor of 8, that's 2x minus 7 right there. In the denominator, of course, I have 8. They'll be canceling out in a minute. Okay, again, both of these are divisible by something, divisible by 4. That leaves behind 2x minus 7. And I've got the 4. Now's a good time to state some restrictions. The numerator of the first fraction doesn't matter, but over here, neither the numerator nor the denominator are allowed to be 0. Okay, so from the 2x minus 7, I'm going to get x cannot equal 7 over 2. Alright, if you're not sure how I got that, I said to myself 2x minus 7 cannot equal 0. Alright, adding 7 to both sides gives me 2x cannot equal 7, and then I divide by 2. Okay, and that is how I got that. Okay, I'm going to erase that if I need the space. But for now, the show must go on. Multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so that's going to be 8 times 2x minus 7 over 8, then times 4 over 2x minus 7 over 4. Okay, the 8's are going to cancel out, and the 4's are going to cancel out. Wait, I didn't do the reciprocal. Wow. Just wow. Okay. It is 2:43 a.m. if you're wondering, so I'm coming up on my second night in a row with only 2 hours of sleep. So that's partially why I'm starting to shut down. Okay, like I was saying, these 4's will cancel out, but also the 2x minus 7 and the other 2x minus 7 cancel out. Everything cancels out. So now we really have to stop and think about what it means when we're canceling out. Alright, is it 0? I don't know. I'm not certain. Okay, let's see if we can get there. It's bothering me. Okay, so here's the deal. When we cancel things out, we're sort of doing like this, okay? But think about it. If we have the same thing in the top and bottom, like 5 and 5, what is 5 divided by 5? 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So when all these things are canceling out, it means we're getting 1 for the answer. Okay, that's the answer number 19. The simplified version is 1, and here's a restriction. Okay, number 21. Okay, in the numerator here, 27 is divisible by 3. So I see a GCF of 3 up there. So that's going to be 2p plus 9. Okay. Now here I see a GCF of 18p. That's going to leave behind p plus 2. Alright, 18 times 2 is 36. Okay, great. Over here, 8 is the GCF. So if I bring out 8 times 2 is 16, and 8 times 9 is 72. Now here I have a GCF of 2, so that'll be 2 and then p plus 2. Alright, from here is a good place to start talking about restrictions. Okay, so let's see how much space do I have time. Oh, is this actually the last problem? Sweet. I can go to bed soon. So the restrictions. The numerator doesn't contribute to the restrictions. The numerator of the first fraction. But this is going to give me a restriction, and this is going to give me a restriction. Alright? In the second fraction, neither one of these parts is allowed to be 0. None of it. So that will give me a restriction, and this will give me a restriction as well. Okay, so from this first arrow, my restriction is p cannot equal 0, right? Because just p can't be 0. If p plus 2 can't be 0, that means p cannot be negative 2. I need some water. Then I look at this third arrow. Well, that's the same thing, so that's nothing new. Now, when I look at this one, I'm thinking, okay, 2p plus 9 cannot equal 0. That means 2p cannot equal negative 9. I subtracted 9 on both sides. Then I would divide both sides by 2. So p cannot equal negative 9 over 2. So there's a third restriction for you. Okay, so those are all the restrictions. Alright, now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I have 3 times 2p plus 9 over 18p p plus 2. Alright, now I'm going to do times and the reciprocal. So I will have 2p plus 2, 8, 2p plus 9. Alright, I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. Let's see, what do we have that will cancel? Alright, the 2p plus 9, that's jumping out at me. Okay, the p plus 2, that's got to go away. 3 and 18 are both divisible by 3. 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into 18 6 times. Okay, so this lone little p is still there. Alright, don't forget about it. 2 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 8 4 times. Okay, I think we've canceled out everything that can be canceled. In the numerator, there's nothing left except for 1. Okay, so the numerator will definitely be 1. Okay, the denominator, I've got a 6 and a 4. Well, 6 times 4 is 24. And then only thing else is the p, so 24p. Okay, so here's the simplified version, and these are the 3 restrictions. Okay, that is the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you didn't copy. Alright, make sure you can do every one of these problems by yourself, and I will see you on the next video.